very much for being here today. I'm excited to be here myself, Premier Furey, Minister Parsons, Dr. James, Ms. Johnson, Mr. Henley, Dr. Bowes, Chancellor Ludlow, Chair of the Board of Regents, Glenn Barnes. We're happy to see you here, and industry players, partners, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. As I've mentioned, and I will probably say a couple of times, I'm very excited to be here today for this important announcement, one that is very much going to positively impact industry and academia in our province. Addressing climate change is a key priority for our provincial government, and we are committed to achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Achieving this goal will require both reducing greenhouse gas emissions and offsetting them by employing new technologies that can remove carbon before it is released into the atmosphere. This is called carbon capture, utilization and storage, or CCUS. To speak more about the significance of CCUS in this province, I invite the Honourable Dr. Andrew Furey, Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, to come to the podium and say a few words. Dr. Furey.
Thank you, Minister. It's certainly an honor and privilege to be back on campus. I feel like I'm coming home anytime I step on Memorial's campus, but I'm not going to lie, my blood pressure is going up a little bit seeing the library behind me, all the hours that I've spent in there and all the stress. But thank you for joining us here today for an important announcement for the future of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, and the world. I'd like to thank Chancellor and President for being with us today, and of course Charlene, James, Dr. James, and Karen for being with us as well. Today is an important day. There's something really truly special about us all being here in the Bruno Centre at Memorial to talk about the province's latest step towards decarbonization and creating a greener future for Newfoundland and Labrador. I think you can tell by the people involved in our announcement that this is about coming forward together, working together across industries, across society, to meet the real and acute and urgent demands of climate change. But there's something special about Newfoundland and Labrador. It's our resilience, our creativity, and our successes are rooted in our ability to do exactly that, work together, pulling on all oars in the same direction. And today we are going in an exciting direction. Carbon capture and utilization and storage, CCUS, will be essential in the world's drive to get to net zero emissions. Now, we first have to remember that net zero does not mean no emissions. It means mitigating them by reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and absorbing the carbon dioxide being emitted. CCUS is all about absorbing it. Now, I have to say a special thank you to Minister Parsons, who's in the back, Minister Davis, and to my good friend Perry Trimper, MHA, for advancing this idea, not just to me, but across government. So thank you for your innovative idea, your initiative, and your enthusiasm to get this across the line. But just a bit more about CCUS. This may be new to some people, especially in the oil and gas industry here in our province. CCUS involves capturing carbon dioxide emitted from industrial facilities and putting them back in the ground so CO2 does not stay in the atmosphere and lead to increased temperatures. So just to get an idea of the importance of this, the International Energy Agency estimates that 14% of global reductions in carbon dioxide must come from CCUS by 2060 in order to achieve our collective net zero goals. That's less than 40 years away, so we need to start now. This means that there will be a global demand for carbon storage solutions, and Newfoundland and Labrador will play a key role in that. Solutions, innovated, invented, created, right here in Newfoundland and Labrador, will have a global reach. A demand for these solutions has some economists estimating that this could be a multi-billion-dollar industry in and of itself. We are well suited to establish a successful CCUS industry given the potential for a gigaton level of carbon storage in our offshore. That's equivalent to 1 billion metric tons and represents a significant impact to the global environment and a huge impact to the economy here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So what puts us on the leading edge when it comes to CCUS? The geological setting of our offshores, continental margins, gives us optimal subsurface storage potential. Plus, our oil and gas exploration history has generated an extensive database of seismic data, which provides the tools necessary for CCUS and its reservoir identification and the reservoir assessment. A CCUS industry would allow our province to maximize the lifespan of current oil-producing facilities because it will further decarbonize existing oil production activities. Another advantage of ours is our highly skilled offshore workforce, which we're also incredibly proud of. The hard-working women and men in this key industry for our province. A new CCUS industry would make the most of that workforce, provide them with opportunities to diversify and create real, new, long, sustainable, and high-paid jobs. We believe offshore CCUS could play a key role in helping Newfoundland and Labrador achieve its greenhouse gas reduction targets and help other jurisdictions with theirs. To that end, today I'm pleased to announce the launch of our Carbon Capture, Utilization, and Storage Innovation Challenge. Through the challenge, the Department of Industry, Energy, and Technology is inviting expressions of interest for up to $6 million of financial support. This support is for qualifying businesses, researchers, and organizations engaged in research and development focused on CCUS in Newfoundland and Labrador's offshore. There are two streams of this work. Up to $3 million will go to support research and development to advance the development of CCUS to decarbonize ongoing oil production in the province's offshore. The second will be another $3 million to support studies of the potential and feasibility of the province's offshore to serve as a regional CCUS hub for industrial scale storage of locally and externally produced carbon dioxide. The funding can support up to 50% of eligible project costs. Proposals must be submitted jointly by industry and academic partners, a key part of this driver, to promote cooperation between these sectors and provide further important and real innovation. The R&D that will be supported by the CCUS Innovation Challenge will help Newfoundland and Labrador's educational institutions, businesses, and organizations develop a better understanding of the opportunity that our offshore represents for global CCUS. We have what the world needs right now. We have the workforce, we have the capacity, now we need to achieve it through our abilities. This innovation challenge also signals to stakeholders, partners, and investors here and around the world that this province is positioning itself to fully capitalize on this opportunity. This innovation challenge is a critical first step to help our province move to the forefront of this new emerging industry on the cusp of realizing the important role we play in climate change. Through this $6 million investment, we will better understand our province's potential in the global CCUS industry and how it can be carried out here at home to help us achieve our emission targets, to help us launch a new industry while supporting old ones. So thank you for everyone who's been involved in this initiative. Mr. Trimper, thank you for your efforts and dedication. Minister Davis, Minister Parsons, Charlene, Karen, and Dr. James, thank you for your help in getting this to this stage. I am certainly excited to see what applications come in and the research and innovation and creativity that can be unlocked right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you very much.
As I said, everyone's excited here. It was almost as thick as the fog in the east end of St. John's. Thank you, Premier. As the Premier stated, CCUS will play an important role in mitigating climate change and attaining net zero goals. I love the all hands on deck approach. I think that's very fitting because it's going to take all of us for sure. This technology is primarily being used in offshore applications in Canada, such as Saskatchewan and Alberta. However, there's great potential in Saskatchewan and Alberta, and offshore potential here for carbon capture and storage as well. I now invite Dr. James, Professor of the Department of Process Engineering here at Memorial, to talk a little bit about her research and explain a little bit more about carbon capture to everybody. Thank you very much, Ms. James, or Dr. James.
Thank you, Minister Davis, Premier Furey. I'm excited to be part of this announcement. Large-scale carbon storage is necessary as part of the net zero solution. I think I'm going to invite Your Honourable Dr. Premier Furey to become a grad student because he did a wonderful job at explaining carbon capture, utilization and storage. But our work here in the Hibernia Research Group is to understand the movement and behavior of CO2 and how it interacts with the saline water and the porous rock in which we may want to inject the CO2. So questions like, can we store enough? We think yes. Will the CO2 stay in place? We think yes. Will there be any interactions to inhibit injection? We think not, but we need to be confident if we are going to do it in our offshore. Confidence comes from reducing uncertainty. Before trying it as a pilot offshore, we need laboratory research, mathematical modeling, and engineering design. We develop confidence in our subsurface storage. We need to figure out how to capture relatively small-scale CO2 from our offshore platforms and realize the potential of our vast subsurface storage. We need to be able to find ways to transport the CO2 by ship or pipeline. We've got huge work, but huge potential. Working with folks in engineering, earth science, and I will mention the branches, geophysics, sedimentologists, and geochemists, physics, chemistry, math, and computer science, and the college, we can find ways to bring our expertise together to reduce that uncertainty. It takes all of us working together, learning together. It takes us learning from our collaborators. Collaborators in Atlantic Canada, across the rest of Canada, internationally in Norway, the UK, and the US. The learning curve is fast for all of us. Partnering with industry and government is critical to stay focused and prioritize the research, answer the right questions, and understand the wider perspectives and find the right solution. So I'm super excited to be part of energy-related research and development. It's really, carbon storage is taking our oil and gas subsurface knowledge and turning it upside down. So engineering-wise, this is the geek in me thinking, it's really exciting to rethink and rework our complex problems with new constraints and objectives. To educate and train the next generation, students to be excited to be part of a global challenge to help the environment. And for ourselves, is exciting. Finding those local innovations and solutions are inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. James. I can sense the excitement as well from you in this. Signatories of the Paris Agreement, including Canada, have collectively pledged to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to limit global temperature increases to below 2 degrees Celsius. Increasingly, scientists view carbon removal from the atmosphere as a key technology to help stabilize temperatures. This does not replace the measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, rather they complement each other. And now I invite Karen Henley, CEO of EcoNext, to say a few words in relation to the organization's Net Zero project. Karen.
Thank you, Minister Davis, Premier, Minister Parsons, I believe is, oh, there you are. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of EcoNext, we are very, very pleased to be here today at the launch of the CCUS Innovation Challenge. EcoNext is an association that is working to accelerate clean growth in Newfoundland and Labrador by supporting and driving environmentally sustainable economic development. In recent years, we have found ourselves increasingly busy in helping Newfoundland and Labrador explore how it can fight climate change in terms of both strategy and technology to the benefit of our economy and our communities. Our analysis through our Net Zero project, which I'm hoping Charlene is going to talk a little bit more about, tells us that net zero by 2050 is simply not achievable in Newfoundland and Labrador or the world without initiatives that result in negative greenhouse gas emissions or projects that take carbon out of the atmosphere. Not to belabor the point, because it's certainly been made here this morning, but CCUS is a promising technology that can help us get there. It's a technology with which we have some expertise with in the province, and there's a great opportunity for green economic development by focusing our efforts on solving this issue, which is global in nature. And therefore, EcoNext is thrilled with the creation of the CCUS Innovation Challenge. Targeted investments in innovation, like the one being made here today, will help put our province on the leading edge of clean technology development on an international basis. These technologies need to be advanced in order for us to reach net zero. And as luck would have it, we have no shortage of creative minds in our private sector and have experts in our post-secondary institutions, like Dr. James, that can help move the needle forward. And while some of the focus, rightfully so, is on the development of CCUS as it relates to our offshore oil and gas industry, the long-term opportunity for our province extends well beyond that into some exciting areas of technology, and we cannot wait to see what happens and what is sent in through this innovation challenge. To say that the future is bright for climate action emanating from Newfoundland and Labrador would be a bit of an understatement. From the low-carbon oil that we export, to the future production of clean fuels like hydrogen, to energy storage interventions, to mining the critical minerals that are required for electric vehicle batteries and other clean technologies, to CCUS, our tiny province of Newfoundland and Labrador is going to have a mighty impact in the world's fight against climate change. This will be great for our province's environment and economy. And so, congratulations is deserved for Premier Furey, Minister Davis, and Minister Parsons on the launch of the CCUS Innovation Challenge. Newfoundland and Labrador is quickly and aggressively positioning itself as an international leader in the energy transition, and investments like this one go a long way in supporting that. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, and the work that you do with EcoNext does a fantastic work as well for the province, and thank you for your work on the Net Zero Advisory Council as well. Newfoundland and Labrador offshore oil industry is responsible for approximately 16% of the total provincial greenhouse gas emissions. Companies in the offshore are undertaking exploring a number of ways to reduce these emissions. At this time, I will welcome Charlene Johnson, CEO of Energy NL, to come forward and speak more about the importance of carbon capture in our offshore. Charlene?
Thank you, Minister Davis. I think I might have one or two sentences here that hasn't been said already. So, Premier Furey, Minister Davis, Minister Parsons, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here this morning, as it certainly feels as though we are at the beginning of something great for our offshore and for our province. The CCUS Innovation Challenge is just what we require to start a promising industry for our province. As discussed by others this morning, offshore Newfoundland and Labrador has significant potential in CCUS. The potential is great for a new industry that will not only extend the life cycles of current projects, but one that could have a major impact on our province and our country in terms of reducing carbon emissions. Carbon capture and storage has the potential to further decarbonize our already lower carbon offshore, thus making us leaders in providing reliable, lower carbon energy to the world. The CCUS Innovation Challenge is an important way to bring together offshore companies and academic institutions and help move our sector forward. And indeed, this work is already occurring on a smaller scale. And here's the new stuff. Energy NL, EcoNext, and OilCo have a collaborative effort, the Net Zero Project, that is working on exploring the potential of our offshore carbon storage. The Net Zero Project submitted an EOI to Natural Resources Canada focused on the department's objective to further explore the storage and transportation of carbon. Titled An Assessment of Existing Infrastructure for Carbon Injection and Storage Offshore Newfoundland and Labrador, it will include an evaluation of the subsurface, the subsea, and topside infrastructure offshore Newfoundland and Labrador to determine the feasibility of reusing it for CO2 storage post-production. Now is the time to prepare for what comes after current projects offshore have concluded and how we can continue to contribute to lower carbon ambitions. This project is one of only 37 selected by Natural Resources Canada out of, I think, over 100 to move to the next phase of a full project proposal, and that's due October 23rd, so it's quite busy at our office this week. The Net Zero Project is working very hard on that proposal now. The work is highly technical, as you would expect, and will involve considerable cooperation throughout the sector. But I believe there is a shared willingness within the sector to complete this work, as it will add tremendous value to our sector's approach to CCUS. Bringing together sector participants and academia through the CCUS Innovation Challenge is an excellent approach, and I am confident will produce impactful results. I would like to thank Premier Furey and Minister Parsons and Davis for inviting me to be part of this announcement, but moreover, for their commitment to driving our offshore forward, embracing new opportunities, and striving for a lower carbon offshore. Through their leadership, our offshore continues to offer significant potential and the ability to play a role in the global energy mix for decades. I highly anticipate the role Energy NL members will play in making this exciting initiative a success, and we look forward to playing any role asked of us to ensure it does. Challenge accepted. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you for the work of Energy NL to support the people that we all represent and the industry that we all represent as well. And as Environment Minister, I'm really excited today. As you can imagine, Perry was the former Environment Minister, and I know I've learned a lot from Perry over the years, listening to him and to work on this file in particular. But any day an Environment Minister gets the opportunity to put an investment in as a government for the betterment of technology, it's really important. So, as been said many times before, in order to meet our net zero commitment by 2050, innovative approaches, including technology and regulatory developments, are required. There is no doubt Newfoundland and Labrador can play a critical role in realizing not only our provincial and national net zero CCUS goals, but also international goals. The CCUS Innovation Challenge is an impactful initiative to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promote clean, innovative growth, and support the green economy. And I take this opportunity to say thank you all for being here this morning. There will be a tour of the Hibernia lab starting in a few minutes for all guests, and media are welcome to join. But before we get that underway, I'd like to get all speakers to come forward to a photo and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here.